Okay, so this is tutorial number 3. Yeah, 3 of Econ 101. So let's get to it. So the first question, in the economic coordination, describe what the function of firms. So another name for firms are like businesses. So what is the function of businesses in this whole, economy that we got in this world? Well, they basically employ people. They hire their factors of production, right? They get them, they manufacture products, then they sell the products to households, then they make money, and this basically creates a whole circular flow. So that's what the function of firms is. The next one, name the 4 types of economic externalities and give an example of each. Okay, so first of all, there's so 2 types and then it branches off. So like you got consumption externalities and you got production externalities. Then you get a negative positive of that and a negative positive of that. So 4 types of economic externalities. Let's say a positive consumption. Positive consumption is when you consume something and it's basically gives a benefit. So vaccines. When you consume a vaccine, then that means you give, basically it makes it more safer for other people because they won't get the disease. So by you doing something, it has a good effect on others. Negative consumption externality is smoking. So when you smoke, it causes other people to get sick, right? And then you get production. So positive production, maybe you can say you're a farmer which puts basically like bees by flowers for that matter. Right? You do that, and then in effect, what happens is that it'll make honey and do all that. So at the end of the day, when you're doing something, as you as a farmer, you need to pollute the flowers. At the end of the day, they're doing something else that has a positive effect. Then the negative effects, production, simple pollution, right? Businesses, they produce stuff, and at the end of the day, the output is pollution. So that is a type of externalities. Now, multiple choice. An economy which a government is authority determines what to produce, how to produce, and who to produce. Now, anytime a government is in charge in an economy, only the government, think of central plan economy. It'll always be the answer, like centralized, central plan economy. Which of the following is necessary for existence of a market? Now, if you look at all of here, I mean, so I know it can't be all of the above because no one needs a building. You can sell online, doesn't mean you need a building. I'll say is this, because at the end of the day, a market is what? An exchange between buyers and sellers to buy a product. So if you don't have buyers and sellers, there is no market, right? So that's an obvious answer. So in property rights are like, so you know how you invent a product and basically you have a right, like nobody else can produce that product. So that's what like property rights is. That's intellectual rights, property rights. So I'll say is this, number C. It's harder to realize gains from trade and there will be less specialization. Now, what does it mean less specialization? If somebody copies your product, then there's going to be so much of competitors. You can't specialize in a product. If you're someone who only creates a product, you can make the product and you can basically upgrade it, do new things with it. There's no competitors involved, right? Also, gains from trade, hard to realize gains from trade. At the end of the day, they're stealing your business, so it's very hard to realize your profit you're making and what's like basically your invention, how it is and how it's basically produced or has an effect on the economy. You can't tell because there's so many competitors stealing your products. Number 4, in a circular flow model. Okay, so this over here, you have to know the circular flow model, you have to memorize it. But basically, if C is households over here and if D is firms, what's going to happen, it goes like this, right? So households give labor to firms. Firms sell goods to the households. Then what's going to happen, it goes the other way. Then the households over here is going to buy the goods from the firms. And then the business will make money and then it'll give the household salary. So that's how it works. Right now, in a circular flow model, okay, then you have, so on this side, it'll be a product market or goods market, and this side will be the factor market. So firms consume goods and services offered on the good market. That's correct. I told you, this side they consume goods and services on the goods market. Firms consume goods and services offered under good market. That's wrong, yeah? Why would firms? Isn't households will consume goods? Yeah, so that's actually false right there. Household will consume goods and services offered under good market, not firms. Then the households sell factors of production in the factor market, which is this, I told you, factor market, which they are purchased from some firms. That's correct. Firms combine factors of production and produce goods and services. That's correct, right? They combine it, right? So they get it all from the household and they combine it over here. Then goods and services are offered for sale in the factor market. No, that's the goods market. So the only thing that I can see over here, it's these two. So 2I and yeah, this one here. Number D. Yeah, number D. So that's the only one which is correct, okay? Now this over here, don't get too scared or whatever, but if households are in D, so now they change it. So it's the same thing, it's the same flow. But now you have this thing, the households are D and C is businesses. Then which of the following must be true? So remember, this is the households. Box D must represent the factors of production. That's correct. D is households. The factors of production they have is labor, which is common, labor, right? And there's a lot other, but labor, which we all know it's there. Box C must represent the market for goods and services. The market for goods and services. C. That's correct. These are firms, businesses, so they produce the goods and services. Then firms are buyers of the factors of production and market represent box D. Perfect. So businesses here will go in the market of D, because in this market is all households. And yeah, they'll buy the factors of production. Is that correct? So all of the above. So let's see. Yeah, LBD. All of the above. Now number 6. Which of the following statement regarding economic coordination is incorrect? So just looking at it, always look for the one that is most incorrect. Now as soon as I see this, I'm looking at C over here. Examples of real property. Now what is real property? Real property is real property. So it's like your land and buildings you're renting, or you're buying a property, a house. All those are real property, right? You get 3 types of property. Real property, which is like your houses. Financial property, which is like your money. And then you get intellectual property. That's something that you can't see or touch, intangible, like your inventions. If you invent something, a product, no one is allowed to copy that, so that's intellectual. But this real property is not this. All this is intellectual property, okay? 7. Now this can be quite confusing. I don't know why they use South Africa Kruger National Park, but I would just replace this with a park, to be honest, just a park. So can be considered as a straightaway public good. Because at the end of the day, a park, there's 2 ways to answer this question, a criteria you need to know. Number 1, is it rival? Number 2, is it excludable? So what is rival? Rival means if you use that thing, then it'll be less for the other person to use. For example, food is rival. If one person gets a burger and there's 5 burgers, then the next person has less burgers to choose from, right? Excludable means if it's excludable, like food is excludable, if you do not have the money to pay for it, you can't get it, right? It'll exclude the population if they don't have money. So South Africa's Kruger National Park, I will say it's non-excludable, because people who do not have money can still go there, and it'll be non-rival, because at the end of the day, if you go to the Kruger National Park, you're not depleting somebody else's, thing, or basically you're finishing something else in there. No. Now why I say this confusing, you might argue that you go there and you kill an animal, and then somebody else has less than an animal if you're doing hunting or something. So that's a problem with this question. So, but think of a park. But if this comes out, then it will be public good. Okay. But yeah, it shouldn't be this question because it makes people overthink, like what I did now. But it's a public good, right? Think of a park. Anything Kruger National Park, game reserve, think of park. A normal public park we get here. Number 8. An example of an activity that creates a positive consumption externality. When you consume that good, it has a positive impact. So let's see. I told you my example when I beginning with this video, flu vaccinations. You receive the vaccination, It'll have a positive effect because other people won't get the flu. It won't transfer to them. Which of the following creates a negative production externality? Negative. So yeah, smoking, I told you. No, sorry, this is consumption smoking. Now I'm saying production. Wait, what was this? Yeah, production. Let's see. Production, yeah. Fertilizer runoff. Okay? So when you produce stuff in the farm, all the chemicals go in the river, pollutes the river, negative pollution. Smoking is consumed as a negative consumption, perfect. Because D, non-smokers who receive no compensation, right? Yeah, because it harms non-smokers. So that's this video on tutorial number 3.